The year is 1996. The internet arrived, a new wilderness. Most brands brought the instincts of an older world. They mistook noise for connection. Then, something unprecedented. Strangers tapping their desires into machines, hungers, ambitions. For the first time, the consumer was telling you, in plain language, exactly what they wanted. Most of the industry did not hear them, but one agency in a quiet corner in Boston asked a different question. What if, instead of chasing, you went to those already searching? The world comes to know us as iProspect.
Here we go.
The biggest shift wasn't technology, it was the speed of decision-making from clients, from the dollars they were spending, what was driving the output for their business.
We were still working with handwritten billing papers, mass media, and largely one-way messaging. It wasn't quite Mad Men, but it wasn't far off.
There were huge advertising on billboards, on TV, on the radio.
Tra il 2006 e il 2007 si è iniziato a parlare di digitale in maniera importante.
iProspect, but the world's first search agency. Google was founded 2 years after. So before the industry started talking about performance marketing, iProspect was already building a business around measurable outcomes. The thing that they spotted was that intent was going to be one of the most important signals in marketing in the future.
If you look at our timeline over those last 30, we've drastically changed from a small internet prospecting search agency to a full funnel media agency that's driving outcomes.
Search was our origin story and growth became our mission.
So when I say 1996, what comes to mind?
30 years ago.
I was a baby, so.
Back in 1996, I am still in university. Life is much simpler back then.
High school, getting in trouble, listening to grunge rock, listening to hip hop, driving my parents crazy.
I was still a secondary school student. I told my parents I want to learn computer, but actually I mostly use it for playing games.
In 1996, I had very frizzy hair. I was in high school, probably playing tennis.
I was a lifeguard in high school, and I was being interviewed by my local paper as saying that being a lifeguard was probably the best job I would ever have.
I was living in London, living the high life. Probably the wildest time of my life was my 20s in London.
If you could explain your job to your grandparents, how would you go about that?
That's a really good question.
You know, when you're trying to scroll through Facebook, catching up with like your friends' pictures, that link that takes you there is something that I placed.
You leave a web page and then you see that product in banner ads everywhere. That's what we do. It's a positive reminder of, hey, I was actually looking at that and I do want to purchase. Thanks for the 10% off.
Basically everything you see on your screen is from us. In simple words, but yeah.
Acceleration really means faster growth for our clients' business.
We're at a time where media is drastically changing, and I think iProspect is right at the forefront of helping our clients through that.
Consumers are moving at the speed of light. We need to be able to connect those conversations at speed.
The pressure on CMOs has never been greater. They're expected to accelerate performance across every dollar of spend, unify brand and performance, and prove impact with clarity, often with fewer resources and less margin for error.
We started doing business with you guys in 2004. I mean, from the start, I think there was just a level of trust. Early on, we would always increment our budget like 5 to 10% every year. Price Glomsky, who used to be with iProspect, kept nicely nudging us to say, I promise if you'll get more aggressive with your budget, it'll work.
We started as a performance marketing relationship, and we've grown that over the last 5 years really into a global partnership that looks after how we break through in the world as a brand, all the way through to how we're creating demand in our system every single day.
When a French CMO comes to us, it talks about performance today. They're asking for better managed, more transparency, more responsibility.
Clients want to own their own data. And so data intelligence is a really important question that they're asking for us. And how do they use that data to make the intelligent decisions on how they spend their media dollars?
Acceleration. It means closing the distance. the distance between insight and action, between knowing and doing, question and answer. It means that the gap between thought and consequence becomes vanishingly small. And for 30 years, iProspect has made that gap smaller and smaller.
iProspect's impact on the industry, as we think about that 30-year journey, is so interesting. The value that we provide is less about that hands-on keys bid management that we used to do 30 years ago. And it becomes a lot more about feeding the automated system with greater data, greater signals, greater control.
Alrighty, Miriam, take one. Mark?
I think iProspect is always a hand raiser when it comes to new opportunities, especially in performance marketing. They were one of the first ones to test our value optimization suite. They're always, wanting to be at the forefront for their clients.
From the very beginning, we were really born restless, always questioning what comes next and how to build smarter, more effective solutions as the industry evolved. So over the years, we've evolved right alongside our clients, adapting not just to new channels and technologies, but to entirely new ways that consumers behave, decide, and engage.
The relationship between Google and iProspect goes back to the earliest days of actually pioneering search advertising, and at the time, really shaping the future of digital media. And our collective curiosity today around how AI is going to do it all over again, not just reshaping media, but really advertising and marketing end to end.
We are in the algorithmic era right now, and that really means that no longer are we just placing media buys, we're having to figure out how we drive discoverability and outcomes. We no longer can be just specialists where we know how to work in the buying platforms. We actually need to be hyper specialists and understand how algorithms work so we can control the outcomes for our clients.
You can tell when you're working with an iProspect person when you see how scrappy they can get and how they are so quick to jump on new opportunities, but also with intent. They're not just going to do it willy-nilly. They're going to test and learn with their clients' goals in mind.
Our teams are relentlessly focused on helping clients make the next best decision.
In times of seismic shifts, it's important for Google to partner with the most innovative agencies because that's how we get to the future faster, when we build it together.
Performance marketing did not exist as a category before they named it. They carried it across the four corners of the ocean. Each city, a new theater for the same experiment.
iProspect entered China in 2012. The performance marketing business was entirely new and a huge excitement in this market. So we were talking about attributions. We're talking about precisions. And when the BBAT started to come up with all their different sales playbook, what we need to do is also to have our own playbooks about how do we navigate around the media business back then.
Performance marketing in Taiwan, when I can't say performance, they usually means growth. The marketers want real solutions, not theories. They want partners who understand platform, understand their data to connect to consumers, and they can move faster. I think local understanding is absolutely critical. iProspect Taiwan, our role becomes very important in this market. This translating global ambitions and global strategy into a real local impact.
Quando è nata iProspect in Italia, iProspect era indubbiamente l'unica grande agenzia internazionale con chiaramente una importante presenza in Italia che poteva parlare concretamente con soluzioni efficaci sui clienti, e iniziamo proprio in quegli anni a collaborare sulle performance di BMW, che tuttora è cliente a 360 gradi dall'online all'offline di iProspect. Quindi c'è proprio una correlazione continua tra iProspect e i servizi che vendeva e su cui era altamente qualificata ai tempi, ed è tuttora come leader di mercato in Italia.
Ben Wood, Global President for the digital marketing company iProspect. Good morning.
Delivered record numbers, record revenue, record profit, unbelievable margins.
When the markets move, and they always move, iProspect moved with them, reading the shift before it arrives, leading each market into what comes next.
Today, marketing is fundamentally consumer first. We've moved from a world where brands got to tell people what they should want to one where consumers show us through their behavior, signals, and intent exactly what they need and expect. It's a big change.
The main challenge of our clients is today is the pressure on budgets, pressure on margins, on results. And while media costs rising a lot, there are too many channels, too much data and too many mixed signals, so they are a little bit lost.
Questo clash, se vogliamo, tra obiettivi incrementali e budget che non cresce ci mette nelle condizioni come agenzia di fare tendenzialmente ottimizzazione del buying in generale del piano media del cliente e un'ottimizzazione grazie ai dati, alle tecnologie, alle skills dei nostri professionisti.
When clients are first coming to us at iProspect, we generally try to attract a certain clientele, those that are performance mature, but also those that are very customer centric. And usually when they're coming to us, it is at a point where they have that ambition, but they have not been able to do that in reality. And so that is usually the first challenge and transformation job that we have for them, is making sure that we can get them onto that path of making that ambition a reality.
As a consumer, you want to be at a place of zero friction. You want media to work as finding the right person at the right time, but not feeling forced. So I think it's truly about how do you make a product scream less of look at me and more about I'm here because I know you want me.
Acceleration means streamlining. The industry had built itself into silos, but iProspect saw what others accepted as inevitable and quietly tore it down.
We connect creative and media not as separate disciplines, but as one system designed to drive demand, shape experience, and deliver impact.
For too long, we had everything separate when it came to marketing. You had performance teams that were not working with their brand teams, that were not working with their retail teams. And it really brought us to a place where things just were not connected.
When we think about the ad tech out there, they sit within their own closed ecosystem. And that is a challenge for us because we don't work in a siloed world. We move seamlessly between Google search and Meta and Facebook, social media to video. Video itself is expanding from TV to streaming to YouTube.
We're at this junction in the industry where everything's changing so rapidly. You wake up and there's a new thing out there. So I think the fact that at iPro, we're not just focusing on buying or placing media, we're really thinking about owning moments and how our clients can leverage from that.
What we recognized early on is the consumer journey is not linear, and neither is growth. When media is planned and optimized in silos, momentum breaks entirely. When audiences demand, creative, and measurement work together, that's what we're looking for.
Brands needed a smarter path to growth. iProspect built one, bringing creativity, performance, and technology together as a single force, and turning global scale into something brands could feel.
Now, what we're doing at iProspect is creating the collective tissue, whether that is people or products or processes, to help work towards that single-minded endpoint, that business outcome for our brand.
Hilton is a really great example of this evolution. During COVID, they centralized and regionalized their business out of necessity. Now, as they reunify their strategy globally, the opportunity is to reconnect creative and media in a way that's far more intentional and more powerful.
If you look at our business, it's increasingly complex. Breaking through and finding the right channels to be top of mind and reminding them why Hilton Stay is different, really being in the moment when they're making that purchase decision, is increasingly becoming a complex set of things that we have to navigate from a media environment perspective. And you guys are really helping us get the most out of our partner relationships, first-party data, and really looking at how our brand can make the sort of the most of all of those moments.
Together, we've built a performance engine that helps them understand the next best action, where to place media and creative investments, and how to adapt experiences by channel, how to measure what's actually driving growth. It's not just about reach or clicks, it's about attention, relevance, and results.
In China, there's never going to be one strategy that's going to work. When you think about WeChat, you can search for anything. It's like the master body where brands also build a lot of brand stories behind it. They have their customer service, and also they do have their common thoughts on it. Our philosophy is we start with the consumers. Their journey, their paths of discovery, their touch points, down to their path of experiences. I think that's when we're able to appropriate the role of every media at the right timing and the right setting for them.
If we're not looking at media holistically across paid, owned, and earned, we're not doing right by the consumer, and we're not delivering the full value or potential our clients expect. Take eBay as an example. When we began working together, their challenge wasn't a single campaign or category. It was how to evolve from a collection of category-led initiatives into a true horizontal brand experience across the entire marketplace at global scale. That required collecting all media and messaging into one system. So every media dollar worked harder, not just to drive immediate sales, but to really shape the long-term future of eBay.
The biggest challenge for brands over the years has been the siloed nature of ad tech. But at iProspect, we absolutely have the solution to overcome that and continue to evolve that solution going forward.
The year artificial intelligence, or AI, took the world by storm.
All we've heard about is how big AI will be.
And now, the advertising industry stands at another threshold. The algorithms are watching, learning, predicting our desires before we have formed them. iProspect sees this as the next challenge.
AI obviously is the topic that everybody's talking about right now. And so a lot of the work we're doing is helping clients understand the benefits, but also the risks of AI-driven planning and how that can help them keep up and speed up.
When we think about how AI is changing today, we can really compare it to the Industrial Revolution. The phone connected everyone. The cars connected everyone. Everything became faster, more efficient, more effective than it ever was before. Well, that is the exact same thing that AI is doing today.
We really believe that strategic distance is going to go to the companies who can collapse the timeline between information and action. And Dentsu and iProspect are already doing that by being one of the agencies who's deploying Google AI search solutions faster than almost any other agency in the industry.
Every brand is competing for the same consumer dollar within the same category and even cross the category. So what we're doing here in iProspect, we have to train our own systems. We have to actually infuse the consumer data. What the clients are willing to give us from their first-party data pool. I think it allows for quicker decisions right now. And that is something I believe every media planner in China is getting used to.
We have access to signals brands no longer see clearly as AI reshapes the consumer journey. Because we are agnostic, and it's one of the most value of Dentsu, we can help guide AI with perspective instead of simply following it.
John, take one. Mark?
The partnership with iProspect always starts by putting the customer first. The goal hasn't changed in the past 30 years. It's can the marketing spend have a significant impact on business outcomes. We're often tasked, both agency and Lift Lab, to measure upper funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel simultaneously. It's what advertisers want. We're both up for the task, and iProspect's always there to take action with the insights that are found. The impact of AI is happening in the ad platforms. It is making them a little bit more black box, and I do think it's in advertisers' interests.
It's taking the outputs, the downstream elements of that black box model. It's trying to build tools and solutions to lift the lid on that black box ever so slightly so we can see inside it, and then passing all of that back to the upstream so we can be more strategic and more advanced with everything that we're doing and every decision that we're driving forward.
In Italia, passati a lavorare concretamente con i nostri clienti sul geo, quindi sull'ottimizzazione tramite tool di intelligenza artificiale generativa per fare in modo che i siti e le properties digitali dei nostri clienti siano citate e maggiormente ritrovate nei tool di intelligenza artificiale generativa quali Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity e quant'altro.
One thing that strikes me, particularly as someone who started her career in a creative agency, is that AI is actually going to be the thing that brings media and creativity back together and reunites them in a way that is going to benefit brands, going to benefit businesses, and most importantly, going to benefit our shared consumers.
Winning today means understanding how machines interpret human behavior. Brands need to be able to understand how to navigate the algorithms rather than let the algorithms take over. The ultimate thing that we're talking to clients about is, in the algorithmic era, is really creativity. How do you use creativity to navigate the data, and how do you bring those things together?
What comes next? No one can say. But the people inside this agency have lived through every previous frontier. They have stood at every threshold. They have learned the only lesson the frontier ever teaches. Do not chase. You listen. You move first. You accelerate.
In 30 years' time, I'd really love the industry to still be driven by humans and be very humane at the heart of it. I really hope as an industry we're bringing the energy and curiosity of some of the younger generations. So I hope in 30 years, the world that we're sitting in today is building a better society.
The real key to success is firstly to understand there are no golden rules. Stay humble and not to assume that the last winning formula is going to be the next formula.
We constantly challenge our own assumptions, so nothing is ever taken for granted. In a highly concentrated market, our real difference is our ability to continuously reinvent ourselves.
iProspect is a real community, and that generosity of spirit and ability to connect across different markets around the world really is different to other agencies and networks I've worked in. What we've always brought together is engineers and strategists working in harmony, and that's really enabled us to navigate this fast-changing world. Keep learning, keep up, be ahead of the curve, and really push the boundaries.
And that's the cut. That's beautiful.
Thank you, team.